I grew up here in the San Fernando Valley, born and raised in Van Nuys here. I went to Van Nuys High School, played baseball there. Right after high school, I joined the Marines, and I knew right away that I wanted to be a Marine. I chose to be a rifleman in the infantry. After basic training, I got shipped out to Iraq. Bear in mind, I joined the military before 9/11, so I didn't know what I was getting myself into, but lo and behold, that's what ended up happening. I was part of the first initial wave of troops to get there. A lot of the jobs we had to do was mostly patrolling the streets, different towns, different cities, almost on a weekly basis. So we just had to make a presence there to make sure the bad guys knew we were there, and some days were worse than others, to say the least. Unfortunately, at that time, there was a lot of people that would use their children as suicide bombers. So I remember one time, this was real late at night, maybe 1 in the morning or so. And keep in mind, there's no electricity there, so there's no street lights or anything. So we relied on our night vision goggles. And I remember during my shift, a small child was approaching us with a tray with a blanket over. So immediately got on radio, started asking, this is what's going on, what should I do? Child seemed scared and nervous, to say the least, but was slowly approaching us. So at that time, I was not given any instruction. Nobody was answering. I was caught in a situation where I had to make a decision. Thankfully, I did not shoot the child. As he got closer and closer and closer, I realized he was slowly taking off the blanket, and he was actually bringing us food. And that's what he was doing. But till this day, I think my lucky stars, I made the right decision, because the higher ups or anybody else, they probably would have just said, hey, do it. If you're in a combat job, you are constantly living on adrenaline on a daily basis. Bullets are flying, explosions, and then that's just the reality when you're over there at the sandbox, as we would call it. And coming home, one thing they don't tell you, one thing that's not on the books, is that you can't just get rid of it. Most of us, and you kind of hunger for that thrill again. And as maddening, as insane that sounds, I remember looking back a couple years ago and seeing the dust settled of what I had done, and a lot of just bad financial choices, and my drinking was out of hand, to say the least, and it was just a spiral downward, and unfortunately, I didn't end up getting help till years later. I'm getting formal care now at the VA. But it's something I should have done from day one when I got back. But unfortunately, I didn't think, or I didn't even know I had a problem. Now I'm in debt, carless. I take 3 buses to work and 3 buses home, so 6 buses a day. Being broke is not fun, And unfortunately, the people getting the blowback is my loved ones. We try to make the most out of our minimum resources that we have, and we take it a day at a time. And thankfully, in the end, we don't have much, but we have each other, and I think in the end, that's really all that matters. It's good to know that there's still good people out there extending their love for people that are in need. When you come back from a combat, you're not too optimistic about stuff, so you kind of just see the worst of the worst. But people such as Mr. Lufrano, his lovely wife, and his organization, it's a good feeling to know that there's still good people out there fighting the good fight and doing the right thing.